What is good, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Foxy. Welcome back to the Fox's Den. Getting into another reaction day. It's beautiful Monday. We got Bleach, a new episode of Bleach, episode 11. And then after this, next week, as far as I've heard from everybody and like kind of rumors and shit, pretty sure this is already confirmed, but we're getting a combined finale of episodes 12 and 13 for an hour-long special, baby. I am fucking hype, as I'm sure everybody is. I'm sure you guys are too. That shit's gonna be fucking lit. So, really looking forward to, this episode and next week. Like, these next 2 weeks is going to be fucking insane. And I think episode 11 for Chainsaw Man I think this is on the same number of episodes, like in the same order as Chainsaw Man. So I think 11 for Chainsaw Man comes out tomorrow. And then we have the finale of that next week as well. So we got Bleach finale and Chainsaw finale in the same week. And I'm excited as fuck, bro. This shit. Oh my god. As soon as I heard that, I was like, bro, I'm about to bust, dog. Like, what the fuck? Combined episodes 12 and 13 for an hour-long special? I'm there, bro. I'm there. Where were we at last episode? Oh, yeah. Fuck. Last episode was the battle, motherfucker. Like, bro, that episode, they did that so well. The adaptation for the fight between Unohana and Zaraki was really, really, really fucking dope. They did an amazing job between the animation and the storytelling between the backstory of how Unohana found Zaraki and like how they fought for the first time. And really some in-depth things on like how he fights and why he's been sort of suppressing his true strength ever since really their first battle against Unohana, because he was already stronger than her, which is crazy to even think about, because, you know, she was the first Kenpachi. Like, she's a fucking savage badass herself, you know what I'm saying? But he was enjoying that fight with her so much when he was a kid. And it was the first time that he ever really felt a battle like that. It's the first time he even knew like what the fuck that was, because everyone else was so much weaker than him. When he felt that sensation, he was like, no, I want this to keep going, man. Like, I want this feeling to last forever. Basically, is what he was, you know, that's what his body's telling him. That's what he loves to do, is to have this battling sensation and just a full-on battle where he has like a fair opponent. You know what I'm saying? But since he's always been so much stronger than everyone else, even in this case, he was stronger than Unohana. He slowly, like, I like how it showed his hand, like, kind of loosening his grip on his sword. Like, he slowly just started suppressing his power because he wanted the fight to last longer. He didn't want the fight to end. And by the time it was over, Unohana was like, yeah, this is the fucking kid. This is a kid that is worthy of being the next Kenpachi. And so, you know, during this actual battle in present time, Unohana was killing him over and over again, reviving him over and over again, because every time he has a brush with death, he comes back stronger, and that suppressed strength starts to be unsuppressed. And, he, you know, as this fight has concluded, he should be back to where he was a long time ago, way before. We also saw that he had heard his sword calling out to him for the first time, and it was just about to say its name, and then we didn't get it, like it cut off right there, and then we went off to the next portion of the episode, and I was like, fuck, man. So I'm assuming we'll get the name of it this episode, if not like in a little bit, or maybe like next arc. I really don't know when that exactly is, and like when we catch up with Zaraki again, because, you know, the second half of the episode, last episode, was focused on Ichigo and Renji with Oetsu, the Blade God. He's the one that's created the Zanpakuto, and he's the one that creates its base form, the Asauchi. And so they had a, you know, training session with him where they're down in this hole with all this Asauchi, which is like the base form of Zanpakuto, and Renji passed and Ichigo failed. And Oetsu was basically telling him, like, you know, you're not fit to be here. Like, you know, he was being very strict on him, and then he kicks him out, like, wherever he sends him to. It looks like he sent him to literally the human world, like, right in front of his dad's clinic. And he basically just said at the end of the episode, like, you need to go back to your roots. Like, you need to find out who you truly are, and, like, do a deep dive in your own personal life and like just like your roots, man. Like, you gotta go back. Like, you're not paying your Zanpakuto any respect, and that's also because you're running away from shit that is in your past, or shit that you don't know about, and stuff that you need to know to be on a more personable level, out of respect for yourself and out of respect for your Zanpakuto, because Zanpakuto need to be treated with love, right? Not just fucking using them out of anger all the time, which is pretty much Ichigo's like fucking go-to thing to do. Renji too, but Renji was born in the Soul Society and grew up with an Asauchi and whatnot, so he kind of had that regular process, right? Ichigo didn't have that regular process. He just was given a fucking blade from Rukia, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's a fucking Soul Reaper. So he's never really had that traditional approach of becoming a Soul Reaper, and having that traditional relationship with his Zanpakuto, and then also like he needs to learn more about himself and kind of take a deep dive in the history lesson. You know what I'm saying? So I'm assuming this episode is going to be focused mainly on Ichigo. It might be the whole episode and like kind of doing this deep dive into his roots again, and then I think that's about it, but maybe we see a little bit more of, some other people. Like maybe we catch up with Zaraki for a quick second because we saw him leaving like the fucking underground prison and shit, right? So maybe we see a little bit of some other people, but I have a feeling we're going to be mainly focused on Ichigo here. I just can't really remember where exactly we're at in the manga. I wouldn't remember regardless. This is this stuff right here, like with Ichigo and his like, his diving back into his roots. Like I don't really remember much of this at all. It actually kind of threw me off whenever Oetsu told him that he failed. I was like, oh shit, that's right. Like this motherfucker actually failed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you expect Ichigo, he's so strong, he can just do whatever. But then you hear like he failed, you're like, what? It's the first thing you react to. So yeah, last episode was a banger, and that's pretty much I think everything that happened. So without further ado, let's get into this episode. If you guys enjoy it, please leave a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you're new. There's plenty more on the way. Let's get it, baby. Everything but the rain. Okay, yeah, so we're catching up with Oetsu and Renji. Damn, so Renji knew. Yep.
絶対の摂理、そして古神無頼のザラキケンパチでさえ死神の死体から奪うことで朝打ちを手にしている。
Yep.
すべてだ。ソウルソサエティの開闢以来、チャンボクの打った朝打ちを持たずして己の残白刀を目覚めさせた死神はただの一人もいやしねえ。
Besides Ichigo.
だからあいつは知らなきゃならねえんだ。
The whereabouts of his soul, I fuck with that, bro. See, he needs to really understand himself better, because I feel like Ichigo's been through a lot. Like I feel like he sometimes tries to, he's like, oh, he's the first person to worry about everybody else besides himself, right? So he's got a lot of underlying shit that he's got to figure out before he can truly be one with his soul, and then in turn one with his Zanpakuto. Where we at? Who the fuck is this? Oh, that might be one of his sisters, actually. We haven't really seen his sisters like that much in this season.
Oh, Ichigo'S.
Where the fuck you going, bruh? Everything but the rain. I like how the rain, yeah, the raindrop right there was distorting the. Oh my god, they do such a good job.
死にそうな顔してきやがって。親と喧嘩した女子高生か。ごめん。どんな顔して会えばいいのかわかんねえよ。
Come on, bro. You gotta figure it out. Deep dive. Stop running. You already ran away from home again. That's the wrong thing to do.
食え。あったまるぞ。
Ikumi, Miss Ikumi. Who the fuck is this? This is his boss? Damn, don't fucking push me up against a locker like that, because I'm gonna fall immediately. Jesus Christ. So this is his boss? He never really had a job or anything before in the prequel, right? I think this is a new character. Damn! Guess who pulled the fuck up in his fucking Soul Reaper gear, motherfucker? Yeah, because she's a regular human. She can't even fucking see Ishiki right now. I think that's his name, right? Ishiki? Right? Yeah, he gonna need it eventually, bro. Why the fuck you leave your badge there, bro? Is he still running away from his pops? No, yeah, they're okay, they're together. Yes, exactly. Thank God he's having a conversation with his pops right now. Say it! Put it into words right now. There we we go. Finally just give it to us right in our faces, bro, on the screen. Word said by the mother herself. Let's fucking go. Holy shit, dude. Isshin. Okay, I said Ishika. Isshin. That's his name. Damn, Toshiro was third seat when he was captain? That's crazy to think about. Because he's captain now. This is so cool, bro. I've been waiting to learn more about, like, Ichigo's dad and just, like, parents in general. Like, history like this, bro. It's always so, like, cool to, like, actually see this stuff. That's Rangiko, right? Was she was lieutenant for him too? Fuck is this? Oh my god, Gin and Aizen. So this is when they were still doing their fuck shit. Or like the early stages of it. God damn. It's crazy, bro. Holy shit. That motherfucker's voice actor is fucking wild, bro. God damn. This guy, bro. Isshin's always been a fucking character, man. I like to pee in peace. Like this guy. What the fuck? That looks like an Iran car or some shit. Oh my fucking god, that's crazy. I forgot about this shit, bro. This is Uryu's like fucking like family. Isn't it? Isn't that Uryu's dad just younger? I swear to god it is, bro. I'm starting to, I think, holy fuck, bro. So their family adopted her since her like family was killed or something. Yeah, nah, yeah. That's fucking Uryu's father. Just younger. So they took her in. Obviously that didn't fucking happen. It's always been a hard life for the Quincy's. Because they were persecuted by the Soul Reapers. It's been a, constant battle. Not constant, but like, constant grudge, really. Like they'll never get along and shit. Woo! I like that! What the fuck? Bro, that man was... What the fuck? Hey, yo, those horns, though! Those horns, though! Woohoo! After the Soul Reapers are dead, right? Damn. Oh my god! Quincy's. These are like special, like it's like a special bloodline or something, I think. I can't exactly remember. Oh my god! Sarah his ass like it was nothing. They just felt that spiritual pressure disappear. Always been very kind. She never really saw a difference between soul. Well, obviously it's been forced down her throat and constantly reminded. Like he was just reminding her right there. Like we should wait till the Soul Reapers are dead. But she don't give a fuck about that. She don't give a fuck where you from. She's just trying to help regardless. Save a life. That shit looks wild, bro. And the horns look mighty familiar. I'm telling you that much. God damn. His Zanpakuto. Fucking Aizen, bro. This fucking snake, bro. Always causing trouble, dude. And there she is. Another Sero, you better watch the fuck out. Bro, that Sero looks crazy. All purple, dude? Holy fuck. Yeah, Aizen's like interested because the Soul Reaper, Hollow, and fucking Quincy are all on the battlefield right now. All three. Holy shit! Oh my fucking god, nah, she's a savage. She's a savage. Oh my god. That was so cold, bro. She was like, bet, you're right here. Yo, nah, that shit was crazy. I mean, he already saw your abilities, right? Isshin's not that stupid. Y'all are both just good people. Good guy Isshin, bro. She was worried, probably like he's gonna start talking shit. Or fucking even kill her, probably. She got lucky meeting him. She got real lucky meeting him. He witnessed all that and he was like, yeah, it's all good. No need to fucking say all this shit. Spread it about. This motherfucker, this is crazy how this is all like fucking melding together and like coming up. Damn! It ends right there? Bro, I was enjoying that. I want more. I'm gonna just let this play out because maybe there's like a little bit more at the end and who the fuck knows, bro. God damn it. Okay, like I thought. A little bit more? Is this Uryu? Oh shit, that's fucking Yuha Baha's right man or whatever. Even with your sins, you are like the sun. Wow. What a fucking episode. That was fucking great. I love that. Holy shit. Alrighty, guys, what another amazing episode of Bleach. That was really fucking good. I really enjoyed that. Like I said, towards the pretty much the beginning of the reaction and in the middle of, or the beginning of the episode, I was really liking, or I always like getting into backstories and like more of like a history of things, especially in shows that don't show it that much to begin with. I mean, like, really in the whole prequel of Bleach, like, we didn't really know much about Ichigo's like mom or dad for a long time. Like, there was one arc that was kind of dedicated to, like, in the very, very beginning of the show, where like he killed that hollow Grand Fish or whatever, which was apparently the hollow that killed his mom. We learned about that and kind of learned about how his mom's demise came about. But that's really about it, and then you know, fucking shit, way later down the road in the show, like, we figure out eventually that Ichigo's father was a Soul Reaper and he was a captain, but like, we just kind of learned that, like, that's about it. And then like maybe a few appearances of Isshin actually in his like Soul Reaper get up, like in this episode when he finally starts to, like, when he comes looking for Ichigo and then starts to actually have this conversation with him about how he met his mom and who his mom is and whatnot. But like I said, like, yeah, not much occurrences of like actually getting deep down into like the history of things and like where his parents came from and, you know, like how they were during this time. And so actually getting a flashback of them whenever they were young and seeing how this all came about is nothing sort of a treat. I mean, that shit was so cool to see. Even just like seeing Isshin actually in, you know, the Soul Society, and he you know, obviously he was captain of Squad 10, so you think like, oh well, captain of Squad 10 now is, you know, fucking Hitsugaya, so like, where was he? And then like you see like in this episode that they had a relationship of some sorts, and it looks like even Rangiku was still there, and she's been lieutenant for him, not only for him but also now Hitsugaya as well. She's been lieutenant for a long time. I think that's who it was, or I don't know, because at first, like, whenever, I think it was Rangiku the whole time, like, the girl that said she was a lieutenant, and then, like, he, like, fell out of the tree. I think that was her the whole time, but, like, while she was under the tree, her hair low-key looked kind of blonde, rather than, like, you know, like, the kind of, like, reddish-orange that she has now. So I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure Rangiku's been lieutenant for Squad 10 for ever since then, like, for Isshin and Hitsugaya. But it's really cool to see like how they like interacted, and they actually did have a relationship, and they actually did know each other whenever he was a Soul Reaper during his time in the Soul Society. So that's really cool. And then you know, we see how this like thing came about where like there was like this mission report of like these, you know, it keeps on happening where these like Soul Reapers are dying in this one location in this town, and that just happens to be Karakura Town, where fucking Uryu's dad's family lives there, and they took in Ichigo's mom, which I can't remember her first name right now, but Kurosaki. I think her name's Masaki? Masaki, maybe? I can't remember exactly what her first name is. But yeah, Uryu's family, like his father's family, really, took in Ichigo's mom, because I guess her family was killed, like her parents or something, or, you know, maybe it was some accident. Maybe we'll learn more about that next episode or sometime soon. But it seems that they had, you know, she lost her family in some way, like her immediate family, and then they were like, okay, well, since you're a Quincy and you're since of like you're an Act Quincy, which Act I think is a special bloodline as far as I can remember. Might be wrong on that too. We'll find out more about that later. But she was like, since you're an Act Quincy, this is why we're taking you in and whatnot. And, you know, obviously Uryu's dad, like, he's a pretty like formal, strict man, and he was raised as such by his mother. And you can tell the reason why he is that is because whenever his mother was having that conversation with Ichigo's mom at the dinner table, like, you can just tell she's a strict lady. She was like, you know, just like going off like, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. So you can tell like she's very strict, and that fits Uryu's personality and how he was raised from his father, and then you know because his father was raised that way by his mother. Like, you can see where it came from, right? You know, very, very strict and formal family. So yeah, we can see that we see that that's where she was at the time, and she was living with his family, and that's how they sort of all know each other, because even in the prequel we saw that like Ichigo's dad knew Uryu's dad as well, and it's like, damn, this is kind of crazy how this all lines up, because it just so happens that like Ichigo and Uryu met on their own terms, and their Soul Reaper Quincy, you know, they're complete opposites, and then you meet both of their dads separately, and then like when they see each other, it's like they already knew each other. It's like, what the fuck? So like, this isn't like a new thing of like Soul Reapers and Quincy's like being being kind of cool, at least in like their like circle, right? You know, in terms of the broader aspect, like Soul Reapers are like fuck Quincy's, and Quincy's are like fuck Soul Reapers, right? This is the whole like Yuha Baha and the Stern Ritter and whatnot versus the Soul Reapers. But like, you know, these few group of people, they don't mind each other, they can get along just fine, and that's how we see happens in this episode towards the end whenever Ichigo's mom comes to save Isshin. And so, you know, this whole fight comes about because Isshin goes to Karakura Town to investigate how these Soul Reapers are dying and like what's actually the deal. And when he goes, you know, he tries to bait whatever's out there killing these Soul Reapers out with his spiritual pressure. And he does that, and then like the two subordinates that were below him get fucking rocked easily by this black hollow. But I think Aizen was calling it white because it's like white inside or something like that, and it's like hole was covered too. Its hole was filled, so it looks like, you know, Aizen and Kaname and Gin were still doing their early efforts of hollowification and like experimenting with Soul Reapers and hollows, and so they took a dead Soul Reaper and they turned it into a hollow, and that's what came out of it. And its horns look hella familiar. It looks like the horns of like Ichigo's like fucking crazy hollow form when he fought Ukiura. So like, I don't know if that all plays into this, because that hollow, once, you know, Isshin and the hollow were having his fight, and then he gets backstabbed by Aizen. Doesn't know it's Aizen at the time because they're all cloaked and shit, but you know, Aizen and them were being snakes as usual and conducting their own experiments, and this is what really brought this thing all about anyways. And Isshin was already starting, I mean, he knew it was a Zanpakuto. He was like, all right, there's a traitor among us, there's someone that's in the Soul Society that's pulling the strings behind all this. So he was already on track there, but he doesn't, I don't know if he ever figured it out on his own or what, until he was kicked out of the Soul Society, or like he just decided to leave or whatever, because he started a family obviously at some point with Ichigo's mom. But yeah, he was having that fight, he realized he got backstabbed, and he was starting to put the pieces together. And then Ichigo's mom comes up out of nowhere, and you know, she starts, you know, trying to help out Isshin fighting him, because he's getting weaker, he's getting backstabbed by Aizen and whatnot. And Kaname was saying like he was about to go in there and kill her because they weren't expecting this, but Aizen was like, no, hold up, let's see what happens, because like this is like a very rare occurrence where there's like a Quincy, a Soul Reaper, and a Hollow all in the same place. You know, it's all three of them, and he just wanted to see what happens. Of course, Aizen, you know, the little fucking mad scientist he is, so he was like, hold on, let's see what happens. And so you know, Ichigo's mom gets involved, starts throwing arrows at this fucking hollow, trying to take care of it. And you know, she was like, damn, it's pretty fast. So she was like, okay, I'll just put my bow away. The hollow comes in, bites her on the fucking neck, and she was like, oh, bet, you're right here now, that's easy. Bop! I was like, damn, bro, nah, that's cold as shit. So she took care of it pretty easily and like saved Isshin, but she still got bit by it. So I wonder if that's what's playing into the fact of like how Ichigo has hollowification powers in the first place, is because he was born this way with literally all three of the fucking like bloodlines in him. Like he's got Soul Reaper in him, he's got Quincy in him, and he's got Hollow in him because of that hollow bite on Ichigo's mom. I'm assuming, at least, because those motherfucking horns look mad familiar, bro. That's all I'm saying. But obviously we don't have all the answers yet, and it's not all completely confirmed, but you're starting to give us the hints, right? You know what I'm saying? And I'm starting to remember from reading this, but you know, this in particular, like this is like pretty deep into the, you know, like the first couple chapters, like the whole like first like fight between the Quincy and the Soul Reapers. That's like the stuff that I remember the most, because it's shit's hitting the fan quick, right? But then we fucking hit the brakes for a little bit. We're with Squad Zero, we're doing some training, we're figuring out our roots, you know, some other stuff is going on right now. This is the stuff that I don't remember the most, because it's like really starting to get into like where like you're like kind of deep into the chapters now, right, at this point. So I really like diving back into this and relearning this and like kind of low-key experiencing it for the first time, but just like in front of me on the screen instead of reading it. So it was really cool to see all that, and they're giving us a couple hints on like, yeah, this is how Ichigo is the way that he is. And so he's finally starting to learn the roots through his father's conversation that he's having with him right now, which in, you know, our eyes, we're just seeing the flashbacks ourselves, but eventually we're going to get back to that conversation, and Ichigo's is probably going to be like, what the fuck? But we'll see how he reacts to it and how he responds to it, and in doing that, depending on how he reacts and responds, he'll be able to actually know himself better and potentially get back to where he wants to be in the Soul Society with Oetsu and Renji, or in the Royal Palace, I should say, and actually complete his fucking training, because this is what he needed, right? He needs to know this kind of stuff, bro. Like this is what Oetsu was talking about. You need to know who you really are. So I'm loving it, and it was really cool to see actually see Isshin in the flesh when he was a captain, see his mom, see how they met, and it was really, really cool. It was really fitting. But after that hollow bit Ichigo's mom, it looked like it was about to like self-destruct or something, because that piece that thing that was inside of him that was covering up the hole, that's thanks to Aizen. This is the experimentation, right? So they used the dead Soul Reaper, turned it into a hollow, so I guess that's why its hole was kind of covered up, and this was early experimentation, so it looks like they were fucking with Soul Reapers first instead of really hollows, because like they were experimenting with hollowification, and this was before like Aizen started experimenting with hollows, I guess, into turning those hollows into like Soul Reapers, right? Which is what we get with like a Ron car and all that bullshit. Or I guess not, because that's a natural process, but that's just if like the natural process takes a lot longer. So I think Aizen found out about like Aron cars and like the stages of hollows, and like he started accelerating that process, and that's where he created the fucking Espada and shit, right? But this is when he was fucking with Soul Reapers and seeing like he was still experimenting with hollowification. So it was really cool to see like all those faces again during this time, and like how shit was still going down with Aizen and the very early stages of it, right? Like this was still before even Ichigo was born, and he was still plotting like way before then. So it's crazy, and he's doing his own experiments and stuff. But yeah, it was about to self-destruct, and then Isshin comes down and takes the blunt force blow from it to protect Ichigo's mom, and that's where they first officially meet. And she was kind of thinking at first, like, what is he gonna think if, like, I tell him that I'm a Quincy? And she just decided to be upfront and honest anyway. And she was kind of unsure of how he react, because it's this constant thing, like Soul Reapers do not fuck with Quincy's, vice versa. But he was like, oh wow, you're a Quincy, like I'm so lucky I get to actually meet one, like this is crazy. And like, so he was really nice and respectable, instead of like being an asshole and like probably like being like very fucking prejudiced, or like even trying to kill the fucking girl if it was any other Soul Reaper, or like a regular Soul Reaper that abides by the laws very strictly. Like, what I'm saying? Like if Byakuya met her, she's gone, dog. You know what I'm saying? So a very wholesome moment there, and that's how we see how they meet, and they hit it off because they're both very nice, caring people, and it doesn't matter whether you're Quincy or Soul Reaper, really. And then Uryu's dad was there, like he showed up with one of the maids from their family's house, and they saw it all go down, and they're like, oh, okay, she's okay, no worries. And then he looked over to the maid and was like, don't, she's fine, like don't say anything, type shit, right? Because like if his mom found out, she'd probably be pissed or something. It seems like all of the elders, or like the higher ups of like Quincy Soul Reaper, both sides, like higher up Soul Reapers and higher up and like elders and the Soul Society, and then higher ups and Quincy bloodline and like elders, and they're like they are very strict when it comes to like, no, we do not fuck with each other. But young people, obviously they don't give a fuck as much. Like, they're more open-minded and don't care about things like that as much, and can see past just I mean, that's kind of like a weird way of thinking, bro. Like, I've never even met a Soul Reaper before, or I've never even met a Quincy before, and I'm just deciding that I'm gonna fucking kill this person. Like, nah, it's kind of weird, bro. But that's how elders and like them like think, because of the history. So really cool to see like how they actually met, and it was very wholesome. And what else? I think that's about it. We saw a little bit more of Aizen and Kaname after that experiment, back in their like little laboratory or whatever, and they were kind of pissed at like how it went down. But Aizen was like, hey, sometimes the random thing that comes about is superior than the initial goal, because that was very interesting. And it's crazy to think about how this fucking Soul Reaper that we turned into a hollow was originally a Soul Reaper, went for a Quincy, the polar opposite. And he was like, don't you find that interesting? So Aizen always sees the positive in whatever the fucking weird shit he's doing, but it is very interesting. So I'm sure we'll learn more about that and finish up the flashbacks next episode, and see how Ichigo reacts and responds to all of this, and finally learning about the true roots and history of himself and his parents, and in turn also just like the Soul Society and Quincy's and those families in general. So really, really cool stuff. I'm really glad we got to watch that, and cannot wait for next week, because it says right here it usually shows like the fucking next episode like number and title for the next one, and it just says 12, but I'm pretty sure it's a combined finale. So Yeah, okay, so 12 and 13 are being combined, so the last episode is just gonna be number 12, but it's gonna be a long ass one. So that's what I'm assuming, at least. So I can't wait for next week. I mean, after this, like, that was a great episode in learning some of the history of those families and just history in general of the universe in Bleach, and seeing these characters and whatnot. And shit, we about to get even more next week, and then probably get back to the present and see what crazy shit goes down for the finale, bro. So I'm excited, bro. I cannot wait. But I think that does it for me for this episode. That was a pretty long discussion. We're almost an hour into recording, Jesus Christ. So that's going to do it for me. If y'all enjoyed the episode, please leave a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Plenty more on the way. And I will see y'all in the next one. Deuces.